There's so much FOMO about opening nowadays, and there are so many opening courses, and you can see so many grandmasters talk about openings all the time that it might seem like, oh yeah, if grandmasters study openings, I also have to do them. Now in this video, I want to explain why grandmasters are studying openings and are memorizing so many lines. And by explaining that, you'll also realize, oh, that actually means that I don't really have to study that many openings. Okay, so for that to make sense, I want to go back to the basics and think about, okay, what do we need to win a game of chess? The game of chess is objectively a draw. So the only way to win a game is by your opponent making a mistake. Now, early on in your career, you will realize that your opponents make mistakes left and right. You just play normal moves, they hang pieces, you take them, you might win the game. The stronger you get, the harder it is that your opponent is going to make a mistake. When you get to the peak, when you become a grandmaster, you might realize if you one day get there, but from watching grandmaster games, you can also realize that it's way harder for grandmasters to make mistakes. So what do we do as grandmasters? We want to put more pressure on our opponents because just sitting back is not enough anymore. And so once we are strong technically, strong in evaluation, strong in strategy, strong in endgames, strong in conversion, strong in defense, in all of these areas of chess, but we realize, wait, if I just get a decent position and I'm good at all of this and I play very good moves, but my opponent still won't make mistakes, what is left to do? The thing left to do is to try to put pressure from the very first move. So that's when openings become more of a thing. It's not like they were never a thing before, but they become so much more important because everything else doesn't work. Or you might have the opposite, and I have a story of that. I was playing the French basically all of my career. So I get to a Grandmaster title and I get invited in my first Super tournament. It was 2017 in Biel. And I play the French there. And I get a lot of bad positions, and especially in one game against Hare Krishna. Back at the time, he was 2750 rated, I think top 20 of the world. He just absolutely crushed me, okay? And by the end of the tournament, at the end of the tournament, he said goodbye to me and said me, please stop playing that French. So that was his way of telling me, hey, at this level we're playing, your openings aren't good enough anymore. But that was me being barely 2500 Grandmaster, playing against the absolute world elite and realizing, okay, at this level, I need a different kind of repertoire. And there are a few hidden things as well why actually more opening prep for Grandmasters work, and for a lot of amateurs, it doesn't. Because here's the thing, when you prepare openings as a Grandmaster and you understand a lot of things about chess, often we can just say, okay, this position I'll just play, right? We reach a certain position and we trust our understanding and we see, okay, well, slightly better. I'm happy with that. Slightly better is enough for me and I will know how to, put pressure in that position. For someone without those skills, that slightly better position looks like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, right? So actually, if you want the same amount of opening prep as a Grandmaster, but you lack the skills, you need way more prep because you need every single position explained where we just automatically say, yeah, here up against an isolated pawn, I like this. Okay, here I have the initiative, I like this. Here I have this, I like this, right? We can stop way earlier because we have the skills. And also when we get an advantage, 0.5, 0.7, that is a dream for a Grandmaster. And I know that I will play well and I will put pressure on my opponent from this position. Again, if you lack the skills, 0.5 doesn't mean anything. Because what happens in amateur games is you're getting a 0.5, you make a big mistake, engine goes down, then your opponent makes a big mistake, engine goes up again, and you have the kind of wave until somebody makes the last mistake. That's the reality of most of chess, let's say below a level of 2000. And so instead of seeing openings as this kind of thing that everybody needs to have and we need to all be super prepped up on openings, I want you to think about openings in a much more practical way. Opening knowledge is really only there to get you to a decent enough position that you can use your skills, hopefully have better skills than your opponent, and win the game. Or from a black perspective, at least you have a decent enough position that you can hold the game. The lower the level of you and your opponents is, the lower your opening level needs to be, because even if you're getting a -1 position where you're objectively worse and a GM says you can't play this, well, guess what? If you hang pieces left and right, who cares who started with -1? What matters is who hung the queen and then the other stopped hanging the queen, right? That's really the reality of chess. So what does that exactly mean for you? I'm not trying to tell you never study openings, but really see them as a practical tool to use all of your other skills and get decent positions and then good results. So what you can do right now, you can do it just after this video. You look at your 20 games, your last 20 games, okay? And I want you to search for 2 specific scenarios, okay? Scenario number 1 is you have a game where out of the opening, just out of the opening theory, you're getting a position that is at least -2 for you, okay? So if you're playing black, that means +2 for white or more. And if you're playing white, -2 or more, okay? Just out of the opening, not because you hung a piece, just because of opening theory, okay? And then, this is important, from that moment where you were -2, you never had a single moment in this game anymore where you were higher than -2, okay? So a game where you start with -2, but your opponent ends up making a big mistake and you get to -0.5 or 0.0 or even +2, +3, doesn't count, okay? So need to be -2, stays like this until the end, you lose the game, you had no more chance. Second scenario, you're never in the opening stage, first, let's say 10, 15 moves, you're never going above 0.2, okay? So you're never even objectively speaking slightly better. And you have no single chance. Again, not a single moment in the whole game where the engine shows this is more than 0.2. That would be a game where you don't get an advantage. And because you don't get an advantage, you had 0 chances this whole game to win this game. Those are the 2 scenarios. Now, here's the thing. If you do this honestly, I believe for nearly everybody doing this, you will have maybe at maximum 1 or 2 games out of 20. So maximum 10%, but that's already high. I would guess it's much more often 0. And that means that openings are not the things that are holding you back. It just means that openings get you in positions that are decent, that for your level, still everything is open. And if you use your skills well and better than your opponent, you will win more games. Because when you have these games that go like this, beep, 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 right up and down from an engine perspective, just think about this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't change anything. If you start at the peak, if you can't hold that peak, if you have a +1 position after every opening, but in every game you go from +1 to -2, why would you even start at +1? It doesn't matter. The key thing is stop going from +1 to -2. And that's not openings, that is skills. That is most likely tactics. That's most likely hung pieces. It might be in, more advanced players, also a little bit of chess understanding. And the problem likely is that you've already invested too much time in openings or things that don't matter, and you've not invested enough time in the skills, in the tactics, in the calculation, in the decision making, in the not hanging pieces, so that this is your biggest leak. So instead of just saying, well, I want to first fix openings so that I always have, this better position. By the way, it doesn't work. If your opponent also knows opening, you won't have a better position with white. If you invest so much time, there won't be any time anymore to improve your skills. So the other thing is way more important. Improve your skills, improve your skills, improve your skills. And when you're getting to a point, just like me, when you realize, okay, the absolute main thing now holding me back is my opening, because I wasn't even allowed to use my skills because of the opening. There was no point in the game where I could do anything with my skills because I just didn't know this line and I was just, busted out of the opening, or the position was so hard that with my current skill, I could never save this position against my opponent. Then it is time to study a little bit of openings for your level right now so that you get a good enough position and you can use your skills. And there's one last thing. I sometimes get these comments of like, hey, I don't want to know if openings are the best thing to improve my chess. I just want to know how to improve my openings. And on this I call BS. Like, why are you asking an expert how to study openings if not for the result of it? Because if you don't care about your chess results and you just want to study openings, what is then good or bad opening study? Who cares, right? You just wanted to spend time on openings, and if you don't care about the outcome, then go spend time on openings, but don't ask experts anymore. Like, it's like going to, I don't know, a financial consultant, and he says, okay, here's how you can save your money. And you say, well, I don't want to save money. It's like, yeah, what are you doing in my office? Like, just spend money how you want, but don't ask me about saving money. That's kind of the same feeling I get. So if you already ask an expert, or if you watch this video and you want to understand how to study openings to get better at chess, then apply it, or accept that however you want to study openings, it's not going to bring the results. Because here's the thing, if you want both to be true, I want to study openings however I want and how much I want, and I dream that this improves my chess, the only way you get this is by watching people that are promising you things that are just not going to happen.